Belina Show, Tuesday final hour, coming up at 1:50. Community Spotlight, Brazos Valley Food Bank. But, man, we kick off our final hour. Tragic news, sad news. Dolly Parton has passed away. Dolly Parton, country music legend, dies at 80. This has been reported, just many multiple sources here. Dolly Parton, country music legend, has passed away at 80. People, Variety, so many different sources are reporting this. And 4 days ago, she was quoted as saying, "I still have so many things that I want to achieve." Her nephew, Brian Seaver, revealed the news in an August 25th Instagram video. Dolly Parton on Friday acknowledged that her recent decline after the passing of her husband a little over a year ago, and that's when she mentioned that she still has so many things that she wanted to do. Just kind of looking over here. Parton, best-selling female country music artist of all time. She has sold more than 160 million albums worldwide. I Will Always Love You was hers originally. 9 to 5, Jolene, which Jolene, I love cover music, by the way. Cover songs to me are amazing. I've went out to search, and Miley Cyrus does an incredible cover of Jolene, and so does Jack White. But that is hers. She was born in 1946 in Pittman Center, Tennessee. She had 11 siblings. 11 siblings. Age 6, she began playing her first guitar and singing at her grandfather's church. She started writing her first songs at about age 8. So, country music legend Dolly Parton passed away. Age 80. Dollywood. She did some movies. Best Little Whorehouse in Texas with Burt Reynolds. And, of course, all the music. All the songs. So Dolly Parton has passed away at age 80. Again, just 4 days ago saying she had so much left. I still have so many things I want to achieve. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that she was at the top of my playlist. But again, you know the legends, and she was one of them. So here in our final hour together, and you still have 27 minutes left to text me, and the ticket booth is open thanks to Dixie Tire Company till 1:30. And there's a topic on the table, and if you participate, that's how you get registered. And what's your number one Aggie football question entering the season? Because it's an update. I don't have the same questions I had in January. Certain things, whether it was the transfer portal, incoming freshmen, the way things have played out are no longer. Number one, who replaces Casey Concepcion is not a question on my table. It's not in the top 10. It's nowhere, to be fair. The wide receiving core is going to replace him. That's not a question. It's not a concern. It's not a topic. It's just not on my radar at all. The core, that's going to happen. So what's your number one or top three, any order? No, the kicking game is not on my concern. Again, they went and got one of the most accurate kickers in the country, if I have the story right. And special teams in general need to improve. There's too many mistakes in an area that you should never think of. And I just feel like Elko being a D guy offseason was probably a point of emphasis. And I just don't think he'll abide by that again. So I feel like he addressed that. I just can't see him going, yeah, it'll work itself out. Does Elko strike you as the kind of guy who goes, don't worry about it, it'll work itself out about anything involving his team, his program? Especially something special teams. Special teams has always, to me, been about overall talent in your program, and does the head coach commit to them? That's what special teams always has been. Head coaches that believe in them and head coaches that don't. And you have to have talent. Overall talent of the program equals special teams success. You know, there were some tier 2 questions What does that mean? All my questions I have personally equal, do they win 10 or more, and it gets them to the CFP. The only goal I have for the season. Winning the national championship is, and you realize to achieve my number one goal, right? That would equal all the rest. But here's a tier 2 goal. Beat Texas. They don't have to beat Texas to go to the CFP. But man, get the monkey off the back. Finally shut the Longhorns up. Maybe put the dagger in Sark. That would all be delicious to me. And everything we're talking about would also equal how to beat the Longhorns. I don't think that would be a separation from, do you? The answer would be no. Someone said, how can A&M survive the brutal SEC schedule? All tied into, not a question or concern. I have stated I understand how hard A&M's schedule is. But when your permanent opponents are A&M, LSU, LSU, Texas, LSU, Texas, LSU, Texas, you have a built-in difficulty scale already. You don't get a permanent schedule that's going to have Vandy, Mississippi State, any of the mutts. So A&M already starts on a difficulty scale. B, it's the SEC. It's always, how are you going to pull, A&M plays nobody. They're not in the Big 12. So when are we ever going to say, man, did A&M get a laugher this year? You know, the only difference between hard and not hard will be when is your 5 home and when is your 5 road. I think that's the only differentiator. It's the SEC. I love the way A&M's schedule's laid out. Toughest game is the last game of each month. I don't look at a back-to-back stretch other than 11 and 12 when you should be peaking. If a coach is doing it right, you're supposed to peak at the end of the year because allegedly that would be your conference championship game anyway, right? I'm good with all that. If all schedules are going to be hard. A&M's on the tier that plays the second most preseason APs. So it's brutal, but the way it's laid out, the only time they play back-to-back on the road, there's a bye week in between. This is as good as it's going to get. So the schedule isn't really question or concern. If you develop and build throughout the year, which great teams do, so does their schedule, so should they. Now, you can't control your opponents. Facts. If someone grows faster, if someone else grows faster, there's always one team in the SEC that has a breakout season, and here you go. Hope it's Auburn. Hope Auburn goes 11-1. They're going to beat teams that they're going to knock them out of your way, and you don't play them. Hope it's not South Carolina because you have to play them. You don't control that. That's not a concern. I don't sit there and go, man, what if Auburn's the 10-win team this year? What if they're the surprise team? Because you can't waste your energy that way. Worry about yourself. That's really the best you can do. Again, questions, concerns. What do you have? Mine, O-line. Holman Wiggins is not an S-tier concern, but it's a legit question in which I put in that category I hate is we'll see once the season goes. And then can A&M beat Texas is not a real concern because they don't have to make the CFP. That's a want. For me, going back to my days, student at A&M, then a civilian going to games, how I've been brought up as an Aggie, it's a never-ending, burning passion. And going 0-2 to start Texas's time in the league, the reunion of these two playing each other, just makes me sick to my stomach. And it makes everything feel more tiresome. Shutting the Longhorns up, not needed, but geez, I'm tired of it. How about you? 9, I know the answer. That was rhetorical, but God, please. 979-693-1150. And if A&M is to lose like they did last year, where the matchups in your favor, systems, and you're the team going to the CFP and they're not, I've always said that styles make matchups. I would have to ask if this is truthfully. I would have to truthfully ask because I said that Drinkowitz will never beat Elko. If A&M loses again, I got to ask if this is an Elko Sark thing and not an A&M Texas thing. If Sark makes it 3 straight, I don't ask that yet. But if they go into the game with Texas not going to go, and again, styles make matchups, and is Sark going to be Elko's kryptonite? Well, we'll wait for the game. We got 3 months and change. But there's no way A&M should have lost last year. There's just none. No. I don't care that Arch was peaking. You didn't need that many points. 979-693-1150. All right, to the inbox. In the inbox. This is from Anonymous. Will the run defense improve? That has to happen in real time. Do you have defensive tackles to step up and replace 2 NFL defensive tackles? If Ray Coney is that guy, I think the answer is yes. I think that's the simplest but truthfulest answer. If Ray Coney's that guy, yes. But you're trying to replace like 2 NFL D tackles who are phenomenal. Will the run defense improve? And you know what? For the run defense to improve, they just got to stop the plus plays. Because down to down, they work bad against the run. You can't give up the 1 every X for 40. Get rid of that and the run defense is good. Will it improve if Coney's the guy? My question is, do we have any tight ends that can make a significant impact this year? Do we have any playmakers at that position? Don't know. Don't even know if they're needed when you consider what the wide receiving core is. When you say impact, their greatest impact could be blocking. How needed are they in the passing game? Generally speaking, with the threat of the wide receiving core, they're going to get man coverage. They'll just be needed maybe just to be the safety valve. I don't know if Marcel uses safety valves because he's looking downfield. So the role of the tight end, I don't know what Holman Wiggins believes as far as tight end usage goes. For Colin Klein, if you followed from his K-State days, tight ends were gods. It's how he manipulated defenses with tight ends. So I don't know the new role of the tight end coming from an OC that his tight ends were pure weapons. So I don't know the new role of the tight end. I don't know if they have to be playmakers at the position or serve a function in Holman Wiggins' system. I know they have options. Playmakers, don't know. Don't know if they need to be. I don't know how Marcel views them. Text messages. Beating Texas is a need this year. I'm tired of the constant arrogance and nonsense that is constantly spewed from them. I need it like the air I breathe. Again, that's Jared at College Station. It's not a need. The only need I need to get back to the college football playoff. That's my need. That signifies it's not business as usual for Aggie football. I need 10 wins. I need the CFP. That's the need. If the 10th win is Texas, if both teams are sitting at 9 and the winner goes to the CFP and the loser goes home, oh, hold on. Just that thought I got emotional, just that thought. Think about it. Both are sitting at 9 and the winner's going. 10th win and the loser goes home. Yes, please. Seismic, cosmic. I'll sign right now on the dotted line for that game. And that could pretty much fall into the boundaries of reality. But Texas is not a need. Look, it's a want that's borderline a need, but 10 back in, and then we could tell the world to screw off. It's like Elko says, history is the way he's always approached it. History's history. It's not my history. It's not these players' history. He doesn't care what has happened in A&M's past ever since the second he got here. And then back-to-back CFPs, not, this incredible historic year, and 8. And then 8 again. That once every 6 years is the breakout year that never breaks out. Instead of that storyline, everything Elko says, believes, and tells, you can slam the gavel down as gospel. He would show you it's not his history. It's not his history. That all the past is garbage. Shut up. That's what I'd feel like. I need a quick timeout. We'll come back. Conversation rolls on. Text messages, 14. You can text anytime, but 14 minutes left to give yourself a chance to win a $50 gift card to Rudy's Barbecue. This is the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, residential, commercial, and industrial services. It's what they do at CC Electric. It is the Louis Bellina Show on the Zone.
The Louis Bellina Show. Dial 979-693-1150.
Hello.
To visit with him.
Hello.
Or to win.
Hello.
On the D4 Land Services Hotline. Dial 979-693-1150.
So we've been talking Aggie football pretty much all day here on the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, community. CC Electric. That's awesome. On an Aggie football Saturday, home or road, that's kind of what we do here on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. It's an Aggie football Saturday. It all begins 4 hours before kickoff. We have the Carney's Pub, a game day show, and it's brought to you by TexAgs.com. Now, if the Aggies are at home, the Carney's Pub game day show is live from Carney's Pub, and you can join Olin Buchanan of TexAgs. He'll be out at Carney's Pub. Robert Cessna of the Eagle, he'll be at Carney's Pub. And hi, I'm Louis Bellina, and I'll be out at Carney Pub. It's the three of us hanging out doing the Carney's Pub game day show, brought to you by TexAgs.com, live from Carney's Pub, 4 hours before kickoff. 2 hours before kickoff, it's the A&M Tailgate Show. That's from Texas A&M. 30 minutes before kickoff, it's the official A&M pregame show. Then the game. We have every Aggie football game, home, road, CFP. It don't matter. You'll listen to every Aggie football game on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Now, I need to help you. You can listen on the Zone, but you can also listen on the free Zone app. So anywhere you go with your phone, you can listen at radioaggieland.com, radioaggieland.com, and you can tell Alexa, play Zone 1150. Your Aggie football game day, your Aggie football Saturday doesn't have to end with the game. No. When the Aggies are at home, Chris, just call him Dusty. Dusterop will join me, and I'm still Louie. That hasn't changed. After every A&M home game, 30 minutes after every A&M home game, it is the Carney's Pub call-in show, and it's brought to you by TexAgs.com. So the concept is simple. Maybe you can't remember all that. Too many years, too many beers, it gets to us all, but you don't have to remember anything. It's Saturday, Aggie football game day. Turn on the Zone. We're talking Aggie football. You listen to the game itself. You don't have to think. You just do. Turn on the phone. Spend your Aggie football Saturdays here on the Zone. Wanted to share this with you. We're almost done off season, but another off season concept. Top 100 football players for the 2026 college football season. At this point, I'm pretty sure if I gave you 3 guesses, you can guess who are the Aggies that made the list. Mario Craver, Marcel Reed. Oh man, great guess. How'd you know? The reason why I jump at these lists at all anymore, I kind of look at them as scouting reports because, sure, I want to know the Aggies. And I've even speculated, guesscalated with various people that join me, who at the end of the year, because I'm not so interested in the pre. I think it's obvious to me and a lot of other people at this point. People are buying A&M stock, 8 AP, 8 in the coaches. Anywhere from, I saw 13. The Athletic did their 1 to 138 and put A&M at 13. Yet, by the main college football writer, The Athletic put A&M like at 11. It's so bizarre sometimes. Even within one alphabet soup website, whatever, they have two of their college football experts do one. Then they have their guy that actually does it do another. And you can get three. There's too many. But whatever. It's entertainment purposes only anyway. A&M is 8 in the two officials. You can alphabet your soup away to 11. I think when I said 9.2 back in May, I think I nailed it. That's if you want to do a consensus. A&M's a top 10 preseason team. The end. And for a top 10 team, 2 players in the top 100 seem light. No preseason All-American doesn't seem right. Even the number of all SEC selections doesn't exactly feel right. That's fine. That's all to start. If A&M's going to achieve, and what have we talked about all day? 10 plus win CFP. 10 plus win CFP. If they're going to achieve that, probably need more than 2. And the question we've tackled before, who other than Craver and Marcel can do that? And obvious answers like Asaka, if he's the beast that people have reported. So you've got Asaka. Another wide receiver can step up with Craver, and it's all SEC or all American. Those are the 2, awards we're talking about. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to stop, I promise. I just don't know when. If Ray Coney is that guy, the end. If he's the dude, then guess what? It follows. To stand to reason. He'll minimum be all SEC. Maybe asking him to go from Tulsa to second team All-American, but he'll be all SEC by the end if he's that guy. Who else steps? So Saka, Coney. These offensive linemen, the 4 new, didn't get a lot of attention. But Tyree Adams, left tackle, he's going to be on all SEC at the end if the O-line gels. And there's not a question mark in the world. Naboo got like all SEC. But there'll be more than one if A&M's 10 wins. If A&M addresses the concerns and finishes X, they'll get all the flowers. They'll get all the credit. It's just people that have been burnt by A&M before, I think are a little hesitant to go all in and give A&M everything they deserve. But if A&M finishes 10 plus, A&M will go from 2 in the top 100 to 5. That'll change. Now, I said I like to look at these still. Scouting reports. In the top 20, A&M will face off against Colin Simmons, Texas, edge, who's number 4. Dylan Stewart, edge, South Carolina, at number 7. That's 2 top 10 in the country edge rushers. A&M has 2 transfer tackles. Better be ready. Number 10, Cam Coleman, Texas, wide receiver. Texas has 2 of the top wide receivers in the country. DB, A&M strength. Number 2, unit line wide receiver, secondary, right? Right. Number 14, Jordan Seaton, offensive tackle, LSU. And he was a late addition, and that was part of how Lane Kiffin could just go back and say, guys, I need X. And they were like, well, we're this committed. Fine, we'll just go rip off another children's hospital. And then the top 20, that's who the Aggies will square off against. Like I said, scouting report, The Athletic, top 100 players for the upcoming season. For A&M, Mario Craver, 62. Marcel Reed is 65. Still better than, man. Cody just texted in. I'll interrupt myself. It says, I know it's not Aggie football, but she was an icon in country music. Dolly Parton has passed away at 80 years old. Well, Cody, A, on the Louis Bellina show, we're a little more everything goes. And B, we led our hour with Dolly Parton passing away. We kind of, I mentioned it and her resume and her greatness and all, but we started the 1 o'clock, our final hour together with Dolly Parton's passing because that broke and kind of came about right at the end of the lunch hour. So, on the Louis Bellina show, we're a little more It doesn't all have to be Aggie football, and it doesn't all have to be sports. We're a little more, life does exist around all these things too, here on the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. And we also mentioned a Dolly Parton passing at straight up 1 o'clock when we started things. But thank you, Cody, for texting, because sometimes, many times, things happen and they can zoom by. So I like knowing. Thank you for the text message, Cody. Back to the top 100. Craver 62, Marcel 65. If A&M has that 10-plus wins, both of them, I think, can finish 30 slots higher or higher. Back to the scouting report, though. Mentioned that A&M faces 2 of the top 7 players in the country just as edge rushers alone in Colin Simmons and Dylan Stewart. 23, Trevor Gooseby, tackle, Texas. 24, Bray Hubbard, safety, Alabama. 28, Ahmad Harby, running back, Missouri. 29, Jaden Baugh, running back, Florida. 32 is fascinating. Arch Manning, quarterback, Texas. Do you know 32 feels like one of the more realistic expectations for him? They're not pitching him as even one of the top 8 or 9 or 10. That's realistic. 32 is not a top 25 player ranking. That's realistic. When you compare last year, and I remember that one statement about him where if he had declared for the NFL draft last year, he'd been the number 1 overall pick, and you're just shaking your head. So, I'm just telling you right now, but 32 feels realistic. Josh and Brian said, Lou, how relevant is this top 100 list you were referring to? It seems like players come out of the woodwork and make these top 100 players look silly, and nobody recognizes them prior to the season. Simple. They're frameworks. Everything in the offseason is a framework and a frame of reference. You look at a list, and it can be by individual units. It can be an overall. You look at rankings. Way. Always. Some teams fail, some teams rise. It's not particular to this list of 100 or a top 10 list of a unit or a preseason. We take the AP and coaches, top 25. Probably a minimum of 8 of these teams that start the year ranked won't finish there. That is the nature of relying on 18 to 22, and now with COVID and 5 years of eligibility and NFL players coming back, 18 to 50-year-olds to execute. So what is the relevancy of any list? It's not this list. It's any. It's a framework. It can give you a pool. There is always going to be breakout, breakthrough, and complete failures. Teams that start the year 4 and finish at 44 because their starting quarterback got injured, and once he was out for the year, the 3 wide receivers decided to, remember it used to be protect the red shirt, but now nobody stays long enough. So they just, they quit. They transfer out. They already got paid their NIL check. So when you ask how relevant, all of it is frame, reference, pool. It gives you names to watch. It's a frame of reference. And it's not this list, it's all of them. Like I said, this is just a scouting report. Perspective to start. Arch Manning, 32. Sam Levitt, 33. Sam Levitt, I have him down on my list of the most fascinating. He's led a team to the CFP before. One of the best gunslingers. Everyone focuses on last year when he was injured and he tried to gut it out. Didn't work out, right? And one of the best things he does is make plays out of nothing, which in modern college football, that's golden. That's absolute golden. Here was a quote from a Power 4 head coach about Sam Levitt. If that dude's healthy, he's going to be up for the Heisman. And now he's in Lane Kiffin's hands. Scouting report, top 100 players for 2026. 35, David Stone, D-line, Oklahoma. 45, Caden Green, O-tackle, Missouri. 53, Rasheem Biles, linebacker, Texas. A&M will face all these players. And it's like 20, 15 to 20 for the upcoming season. 61, Zabian Brown, cornerback Bama. I remember under Saban, when Alabama would have 15 by themselves, they're not that Bama anymore. Quincy Rhodes Jr., edge, Arkansas, 64, another edge. 68, Whit Weeks, linebacker, LSU. 71, Taylor Wynn, edge, Oklahoma. Oklahoma has a ton, and they're all on defense. Number 72, Trey'Dez Green, tight end, LSU. I thought it was going to be the tight end, Cleveland Browns. That I would have laughed about. Number 78, John Mateer, quarterback, OU. I'll just double question mark that. 84, another edge, Princewell Umalinen, edge, LSU. 90, Melvin Siani, offensive tackle, Texas. By the way, both offensive tackles for Texas made the top 100 list. Two more players for you. We're scouting. Kip Lewis, linebacker, OU, 92. Ty Benefield, safety, LSU, 98. And that's the top 100 according to The Athletic. With two Aggies, you knew it was Marcel and Mario. And then there was the rest. And Aggie A&M has like 15 plus, 20 almost. Yeah, that's a lot of the list A&M will square off against in the upcoming season. We'll be back. And the ticket booth is closed. I left it open until I was done. That's why I went a little bit longer. This is the Louis Bellina Show. Inside the Charles Schwab studio. Tuesday on the Zone, 11:50 a.m. and 93.7 FM.
Aggie football sounds even better online. Check it out at RadioAggieland.com.